The official narrative versus reality. Iran, officially, is an Islamic Republic. Its constitution declares that almost all its citizens are Muslims, with a staggering 99.5% adhering to the faith. This narrative of an overwhelmingly devout nation has been carefully cultivated by the government for decades. However, a closer look reveals a different story, a story hidden beneath the surface of official pronouncements. Independent surveys paint a starkly different picture. The Group for Analyzing and Measuring Attitudes in Iran, or GAMAN, conducted a comprehensive survey in 2020. Their findings revealed a dramatic discrepancy. Only 40% of Iranians identified as Muslim. This number included both Shia and Sunni Muslims. This stark contrast between the official narrative and independent data exposes a deep crack in the facade. It suggests that a significant portion of the Iranian population no longer identifies with the state-sanctioned religious identity. The reasons for this discrepancy are complex and multifaceted, but they point towards a profound shift in the religious landscape of Iran. A shift that has been quietly unfolding for years, largely unnoticed by the outside world. A quiet revolution. The Gaman survey also revealed a startling statistic. 22% of Iranians identified as having no religious belief. This indicates a growing trend of atheism and agnosticism, particularly among the younger generation. This is a significant departure from the traditional image of Iran as a deeply religious society. Beyond atheism, there is also a rise in those identifying with alternative spiritualities. 9% of respondents identified as atheists, while another 7% described themselves as spiritual. This suggests a search for meaning and purpose outside the confines of traditional religion. This shift towards non-belief is not a sudden phenomenon. It is the result of years of disillusionment with the political establishment, coupled with increased access to information and alternative viewpoints. The internet, in particular, has played a pivotal role in fostering this change, allowing Iranians to connect with like-minded individuals and explore different worldviews. This has led to a more diverse and nuanced understanding of religion and spirituality among the Iranian populace. The decline of religious practice. The decline in religious identification is mirrored by a similar trend in religious practice. Daily prayers, a cornerstone of Islamic tradition, are no longer observed by a majority of Iranians. Over 60% admit to not performing their daily prayers regularly. Even during Ramadan, a month considered holy and observed with utmost devotion by Muslims worldwide, the level of observance in Iran tells a different story. 60% of Iranians, according to surveys, do not observe the traditional fast during Ramadan, citing health reasons or personal choice. These statistics point towards a growing disconnect between the Iranian people and traditional religious practices. The reasons for this are varied, ranging from questioning the relevance of these rituals in modern life, to a rejection of the restrictions imposed by them. This decline in religious practice further underscores the shifting religious landscape in Iran. It is a clear indication that a significant portion of the population no longer feels bound by traditional religious obligations, and is seeking a more personal and less ritualistic expression of their faith or lack thereof. The secular surge. The changing religious landscape in Iran is not merely about a decline in belief or practice. It is also about a growing desire for separation of religion and state. This is evident in the increasing support for secularism among Iranians. While only 31% of Iranians supported the idea of a secular state in 2015, this number has skyrocketed to 73% in recent years. This dramatic increase reflects a fundamental shift in the political and social consciousness of the Iranian people. This surge in secularism is fueled by a yearning for greater personal freedom and a rejection of the restrictions imposed by the Islamic Republic's interpretation of religious law. The younger generation in particular chafes under these limitations and seeks a system that allows for greater individual expression and autonomy. The desire for a secular state is a clear indication that a significant portion of Iranian society no longer sees religion as the guiding principle for governance. They envision a future where individual rights and freedoms are paramount, and where the state does not dictate personal beliefs or practices. The Internet and the shifting sands of faith. The Internet has played a crucial role in the changing religious landscape of Iran. By circumventing state control over information, It has exposed Iranians to a wide array of viewpoints and ideologies, including secularism, atheism, and alternative spiritualities. This exposure has been particularly impactful for the younger generation, who are digital natives. They have grown up with access to a vast and uncontrolled flow of information, allowing them to form their own opinions and challenge the narratives presented by the state. Social media platforms in particular have become spaces for open dialogue and debate on religious matters. Iranians, especially young people, use these platforms to express their doubts, share information, and connect with others who share similar views. The internet has, in essence, provided a platform for a silent revolution of thought and belief in Iran. It has empowered individuals to question, explore, and ultimately define their own relationship with religion and spirituality. The old and the new. The shifting religious landscape in Iran highlights a stark generational divide. The older generation, having lived through the revolution and the establishment of the Islamic Republic, often holds more traditional views and is more likely to identify with the official religious narrative. The younger generation, however, exhibits a different perspective. Having grown up in the post-revolution era, they have only known life under the Islamic Republic. They are more exposed to global influences, more critical of the government, and more likely to question the status quo, including religious dogma. This generational divide is not just about age, it's about lived experiences and access to information. The younger generation, empowered by the internet and exposed to different worldviews, is leading the charge for change. Their questioning of religious norms and their embrace of secular values represent a paradigm shift in Iranian society. This generational divide is likely to have significant implications for the future of religion and politics in Iran. A counter-narrative. Amidst the shifting religious landscape in Iran, a counter-narrative emerges with the influx of Afghan migrants. Since 2021, over 3.41 million Shia Afghans have sought refuge in Iran, fleeing their homeland after the Taliban takeover. This influx, while primarily driven by humanitarian reasons, has been perceived by some analysts as a strategic move by the Iranian government. By granting citizenship to these Afghan migrants, the government aims to bolster the dwindling population of devout Shia Muslims, potentially as a counterbalance to the growing secularism. While it's too early to assess the long-term impact of this demographic shift, it adds another layer of complexity to the evolving religious landscape in Iran. The integration of a large, predominantly Shia population could potentially slow down or even reverse the trend towards secularism. However, it's crucial to note that the Afghan migrants, despite their religious background, also bring with them their own experiences and aspirations. Their integration into Iranian society is likely to be a complex process, with unpredictable consequences for the religious and social fabric of the nation. A nation at a crossroads. The changing religious landscape in Iran presents a complex and multifaceted picture. The decline in religious identification, the rise of non-belief, the decline in religious practice, and the surge in secularism all point towards a society in flux. The future of faith in Iran remains uncertain. Will the government acknowledge this shift and adapt its policies to reflect the changing realities on the ground? Or will it double down on its efforts to maintain control over the religious sphere? The answers to these questions have profound implications not just for Iran, but for the region and the wider Muslim world. Iran, with its unique history and geopolitical significance, has long been a bellwether for Islamic revivalism. The direction it takes in the coming years will likely have a ripple effect across the Muslim world, potentially influencing the relationship between religion and state in other Muslim-majority countries. The unpredictable path ahead. The religious landscape in Iran is undergoing a profound transformation. While the official narrative paints a picture of a devoutly religious nation, the reality on the ground tells a different story. A growing number of Iranians are embracing secularism, questioning religious dogma, and seeking a more personal and less restrictive form of spirituality. The future of faith in Iran hangs in the balance. The government's response to this shifting landscape, the role of the internet and social media, and the integration of Afghan migrants will all play a crucial role in shaping the religious and social fabric of Iran in the years to come. One thing is certain, the path ahead is unpredictable and the stakes are high.